The Sal Sirchia Show, the mayor of rock and roll.
I've seen you there with someone new. Oh, wait, I'm not. I started continuing the song. I'm not supposed to do that. For a minute, I thought I was on stage again. Anyway, hello, everybody in internet world out there. I hope everybody's hanging loose like a long-haired goose. Tonight we got a great show for you. This is show number 5, and it's been growing and growing since we started. It went from like 3,000 to 4,000 and jumped to 8,060 listeners worldwide last week. So that hopefully tonight it'll be 10,000. And we have a good friend of mine, a guy who is, very, very well known in the movie business. His name is Michael Arbouet. Michael is an award-winning director, writer, and producer. He formed his own film production company called Arbouet Pictures in the year 2000. And since then, he has produced and worked in a lot of great independent films. And I would have to say I'm honored to say that 4 of them I worked with him, and also I acted with him. So let me shut up real quick and introduce Brother Michael J. Arbouet.
Thank you, Sal. It's great to be on the show. It's fantastic. The first time I worked with you was on a short film that we did together called Not Send No Flowers. It was How to Grow a Fig Tree. How to Grow a Fig Tree,
absolutely. And that's a classic. I mean, that's everybody who sees it is blown away by that. So we obviously did a good job on that together. But we also did quite a few other things. We did Across the Line. We'll talk about that. We did The Night Never Sleeps, which I think is a phenomenal movie. I thought it was great. Mm-hmm. And Send No Flowers is also a great movie. And but let's start from the beginning. You started you're a director, actor, editor, writer, and your first film was a short film you produced called New York Minute? Yes, New York Minute. That was a short film that I did, I think in 2007. It's only about 5 to 6 minutes long, and it was a short about what would happen if someone kidnapped another person, so you'd have to kill the mayor. So it turned out to be Giuliani at the time, and this guy came home from work to find out that his wife was kidnapped, and that he had literally 1 minute to decide whether he was going to shoot the mayor or his wife would get shot. So, man, and every time you say the mayor, I get a little nervous because I am the mayor of rock and roll. So, I don't think I want to see that film. No, I'm only kidding. I've never seen that. I want to check it out. And now that we're on the roll with that, I'm going to have to bug you to get me a copy of it. So what? You just produced that? You didn't write it or direct it? You was producer? Oh no, I wrote and directed. That was my first award-winning film. I wrote, produced, and directed that short. Oh, I'm sorry, because I looked it up on the internet and it said producer, so I didn't know you did all of that in there. And then after that, 2005, you did another short film called Falling. Falling, yep, another award winner. Basically about a guy who breaks up with his girlfriend, and he basically goes through all the myriad of emotions of why people break up, and he comes to the realization that, he loved once, he'll love again. And, there's a couple of funny things that happen in his self-realization of that. So a lot of people like that as well. Yeah, Mike, I know you for a long time, and I worked with you for a long time. But even though we've been friends and all that, there's a lot of stuff I don't know about how it all started with you. I mean, we never sat down before and said, hey, Mike, what got you into it? I mean, what was your influence, your passion to want to be? I mean, everybody loves movies as a kid. We all grow up watching movies. But not every kid grows up watching movies and want to be a director or actor or editor or writer or any of that stuff. They just watch the movies and they go home, they do their own thing. What made you want to be like in the movie business? Well, it's funny you asked that. I'm actually writing a book about this. But when I was younger, I was always good at telling stories. And when I was preteen, I used to play Dungeons and Dragons and all that. And I had a great friend named John Solentano. And his father had one of the first video cameras, and when we got bored, we used to pick the camera up and we just started shooting little comedy skits and then little movies, and I just got really comfortable working with the camera and learning
how to make a movie and how to tell a story visually. So by the time I graduated from high school and went on to college, I was a step ahead of everybody else, you know, and making movies and writing and directing just came natural to me. And I went to a great school on Long Island, Long Island University, C.W. Post, and you know, I was just always surrounded by good people. A lot of people don't know this, but I actually went to school with a couple people that are famous now. Dina Meyer, who's a great actress. You might remember in the 90s from Starship Troopers, and Johnny Mnemonic. She's been working in Hollywood for years. We were good friends, and we went to Post together, along with Ernie Hudson Jr., which you know, you may recognize the name because you worked with Ernie Hudson in the television show Oz. I went to school with his son, so the three of us, you know, went to college together, and we're always acting and doing skits together. And it's just funny how years later we're still doing what we love, you know, and our passion for, you know, working in the film industry.
Yeah, no, and it makes perfect sense. As I was listening to you tell the story, same thing with me. I mean, I'm much older than you are, and we didn't. You had video cameras. You were lucky. Me and my brother, we were kids, and me and my brother Tony Sirchia, we had, you know, in the '60s, the movie projector and a camera, but it was 8mm film where, you know, you would film something with your 8mm camera, and it was only like 3 minutes long, and then you had to send it out to be developed and wait for a week and be all excited to see what it looks like when you got it. So me and my brother were the same thing. So while you were telling the story, I was just getting flashbacks, because, you know, we're both in the movie business, and you know, we're both actors, and I'm not a director and not like that, but I've always been very comfortable in front of the camera myself as a kid, because we always fooled around with movie cameras. And also, as a kid, I always had like the Give a Show projector and the Easy Movie Show projector that, you know, you just spun the little thing around and watched Popeye and Superman on your bed. You know, if your bedpost was white, I had a white bedpost. Spinning that thing around. So, I know exactly why, you know, when you were telling the story, why you would stick with it. And same thing like me. When you do things like that at a young age, you just keep it up, and, you know, you love it. It's a fun thing. You did it as a kid. It was fun. So how could it not be fun doing the real thing? Yeah,
I mean, you know, when I went to film school, what's funny, and I worked with film. You know, a lot of kids that go to school now, they never got a chance to work with actual film. But I worked with 16mm, and then I worked with 35mm. And right after college, I interned at NBC for a year, and then I got a job working as a assistant editor. And one of the first films I worked on was this film called The Girl in the Watermelon. And if I remember correctly, I believe that was directed by Sergio Castilla. And, you know, it had a whole bunch of television actors in it. And but my job, you know, back then, you know, in the early 90s, was, you know, they would shoot the dailies for the film. They'd run the dailies over to DuArt. And then those dailies would come to us, and it was my job to physically sync together the picture and the sound and have it ready for the editor to take a look at. So, I mean, nowadays everything is done with computers, and, you know, it's all, you know, HD. But for the first 5 or 6 years of my career, I worked in actual film, which is, it's a little bit of a dying art, because, you know, you're right, you get to wait for it to be developed. You know, I don't even know anybody in the industry now who looks at dailies per se. You know, that was the thing. We developed the film and then looked to make sure that it came out okay, and then, you know, go on to the next shot, or the next scene, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not like video. You could, like, just do it over and over and over again and use up as much as you want and not worry about it, because you just, you know, it's digital and it's not film, so you don't even have to worry about it. You can do 1,000 takes, even though you probably didn't have to, because you're such a great director and great actor. Yeah, baby. Like me, they call me one take Sal. You know, so I don't like to waste no film either. But I don't even like to waste video or time, for that matter. Now, also in 2007, you were executive producer for what is this? Is this a film or a short called Serial?
Serial. That is actually a film. It was my brother's directorial debut, and I just started my company, and he wanted to do something, and he wrote this great story along with Larry Strong, who you know, and you know, I produced that along with them, and it starred Lauren Velez, who has been on Dexter, and you might remember her from other films in the 90s.
Well, Lauren Velez, I worked with her on Oz. She was the doctor.
Yes. So
yes, I know her well. I worked with her for 3 seasons on HBO's Oz, and she's a sweetheart. She's got a twin sister. I don't even know if you know that.
Oh yeah. I actually ran into her at the Puerto Rican Day Parade a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they were both on the set one time, and I didn't know who I was talking to. I said, well, they're identical. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So Lauren, I remember you telling me that you did a film with Lauren Velez. Now, see, I got to see these things, man. I only seen the ones that I'm in with you.
Yeah, that was a great project because there were a lot of people connected to that film who are now doing really well. Another actor in that film was Eric Jensen, and he and his wife actually are known for writing a great story that was on Broadway for a while. I'm trying to think of the name of the show. It's coming to me. It'll come to me, but now you can't turn on the TV now without seeing his face or seeing his wife. His wife's a writer, but he's a great actor. Another actor that we worked on in that film was Kelly O'Coin, who's just a great actor, great theater actor as well. And that was just a great project to work on because we had no money, and even though these guys, especially Lauren, who'd been working, she was on New York Undercover. And she, had an established career, and we were just starting out in the business. She was gracious enough to take the time out. We were paying her barely anything, and she liked the story and she liked the project, so she signed on along with Eric and the rest of those guys, and we just ended up with a great project. And the film ended up winning about 4 awards. So we're really happy about that.
Yeah, well, she's a great actress, and it's like you said, you had no money, but a great actor or a great actress, if it's something that's really good and they have a good part in it, then they'll do it for practically nothing, But sometimes, unfortunately, they get approached, they want people to work for free, and the script is kind of corny or whatever, and they're like, I can't do this, you know what I mean? Or it's a small little part, but like in a situation like that, it's a great script. Like even me, I've done stuff for free in the past before I was in SAG, and I turned a lot of stuff down also. But if it's really good and I have a nice part in it, then it's worth doing. Even if you just get to eat the sandwich. But the thing is, it's a good thing. So once this product is finished, it's another credit under your belt, and it gives also people a chance to see your performance. So that it's always a good thing to do a good project for little money if it's good.
Yeah. I
so
mean,
that's why I'm sure Lauren Velez did it, because I know her well, and I worked with her for three seasons on Oz. We worked together from April to June, like almost 5-6 days a week. It was like a regular job.
Yeah.
7 a.m. Hey, hi, Lauren Velez. Hey, brother Chuck Zito, how you doing? Hey, Dean Winters, how are you, brother? Sal, leave me alone. I'm still half asleep, Sal, you're too happy. Get away from me. I said, well, brother, listen, I'm happy. It's one more day above ground, and I'm going to be happy on it, So maybe you should have went to sleep a little earlier, Dean. So I break everybody's chops. But I was cool with everybody there. Now, this is all about you, and I'm talking about me. I'm getting bad with this. Now in 2007, you did a couple of projects. You did a documentary short, produced it called 4,000.
Yeah, that was a documentary based on cigarette industry, and but not a lot of people know this, but cigarettes contain over 4,000 chemicals in one cigarette, and so when I heard that it just blew me away. And I just had to do a documentary based on, the industry and how people have been trying to quit and what goes on in the industry now versus back then. So, I did that short, which was about 45 minutes long. And I go over I interview a bunch of people who have been addicted to cigarettes and finally kicked the habit. And, their trials and tribulations on what they went through. It was a very interesting story. You can, I think you could see that particular short on IMDb. It might be available. I'm not sure, but it was a very interesting project to work on.
Fantastic. And you know what, Brother Mike? We're gonna come back in a few minutes. We're gonna go break for a commercial or two, and we'll be back with Michael J. Arbouet.
Every person who has a home desires to live in beauty, harmony, and comfort. Says Valentina of Valentina Interiors and Designs. In business since 1990, Italian-born designer Valentina has been producing interiors and exteriors designs to suit and embrace mind, soul, body, and functionality. Beauty without functionality is only daydreaming. Valentina creates realities. Valentina's goal as an interior designer is to touch and transform people's lives while transforming their spaces. Visit her at www.valentinadesigns.com or call for design consultations online and in-home. 650-346-6349.
I don't hear the commercial.
Okay, are we back?
Does this sound like you? You want an online interior design business that puts money in the bank and even makes you money 24/7. You have the design skills, but you're unsure about the online business part. Or maybe you already have an e-decorating business, but the web traffic trickles in and the sales are slow. It seems like you'll never harness the power of the internet, and your dream of a successful online business feels out of reach. If you have plenty of unanswered questions and you're searching for reliable answers, look no further. Introducing the E-Decorating Missing Manual. This is a step-by-step proven plan to create a thriving online interior decorating business. It includes digital learning materials, from an info-packed PDF manual to instructional videos. Get it today at mupplebee.com. That's www.mupplebee.com.
And we're back, folks, with Brother Michael J. Arbouet, writer, director, actor, producer. We just got while we were at commercial, we just got a big fan call in, and he wants to ask Mike a few questions. And he's also an actor and a friend. His name is Michael Jamerson. And come on in, Mike. Where are you?
I'm right here, Sal, my pal.
How are you, brother?
All right, man.
Hey, how you doing, Michael?
You can't call yourself a player unless you're listening to the mayor.
Oh, wait, say that again. I like that. Say that one more time.
You can't call yourself a player unless you're listening to the mayor.
See, that's what I like about you, brother. You got style, and you sure know your stuff, too. So we got Michael. We actually, me, Michael Arbouet, and Michael Jamerson are all in the movie that Mike produced and worked really hard on, called Send No Flowers, with Sean Young. So go ahead, Mike, do your thing.
Okay, Send No Flowers is a great film that stars Sean Young and Johnny Russo, who you might remember from The Godfather, as well as Tony LoBianco from The French Connection. It also stars Russ Kamara, and of course, Sal has a role in there, and Michael, and it was just a great film to work on. It was a great experience. That film was directed by Fred Carpenter. And there were a couple of actors in there that were great to work with, like Robert Lahesi. I mean, if you watch Blue Bloods or Boardwalk Empire or The Avengers, he's just in everything. You look up, and if it's shot in New York, then Bobby Lahesi's been in it.
You're right, because I just watched Tower Heist the other day, not knowing he was in it, and all of a sudden there goes Brother Bob Lahesi. I said, oh, Jesus Christ. So I had to call him. I said, you're in that too?
Yeah. I just saw King of New York, and who do I see but Bobby Lahesi?
Oh, he is in every movie on the planet.
Yeah.
Mike Jamerson, you still there?
Yes, I am.
You got any questions for Brother Mike? So many Mikes around here. You got any questions for Brother Mike Arbouet?
Yeah, Michael J. This is Michael J. If we leave Jackie out, he'll never forgive you, man.
No, I was just about to mention Jackie Martling, a great comedian from Howard Stern. He is actually a fantastic actor. It was my first time working with Jackie in the movie, and he does a great job. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see him in another film coming up, because I think he's got the bug now, and you're going to see him in a lot more things.
Yeah, and he also has his own radio show on Sirius Radio, Jackie. And you see, he performs at Governors all the time. Unfortunately, I never have the chance to go see him because I'm a busy man, and probably costs too much to get in anyway. So I guess that's you got to put the mayor of rock and roll on the guest list. The rest of you don't show up, man. I'm not cheap. I'm just frugal, So let's talk some more. And Mike Jameson, you got any more questions? You can stay on the line and jump in any time if you want and ask something. In the meantime, we'll get back to the next one, which was also now, Mike. You did a lot of stuff in 2007 because you did Serial, 4000, and How to Grow a Fig Tree, starring yours truly, the mayor of rock and roll. Well, not starring. I was one of the stars.
How to Grow a Fig Tree is near and dear to my heart. That was written by, a good friend of mine, Richard Segrelli. And, a basic plot line, it's about a small Italian town in New York, in Queens. And to really explain this, and I don't know if the viewers understand this, New York is truly a melting pot. And you have little sections of every country that you could think of all throughout New York. And in Ridgewood, Queens, within a 6 to 10 block radius, you have like a little Italian mecca where everybody in that area, they all speak Italian, they know each other, and it's a very close-knit, group of people. And that's what we tried to capture with that film, How to Grow a Fig Tree. And if you're Italian, Sal, you can attest to this. Fig trees are a big part of Italian culture. Almost everybody who's Italian has a fig tree growing in their backyard. And this was just a project that, like I said, was near and dear to my heart. Rich wrote a great script, and Sal and Vincenzo Montanez, who also was in the film, Anthony Palladino, they all did such great jobs. Hilary Piles, I'm trying to think of everybody else, Teresa Galenti. They did such a great job with the film, and anyone who's seen it, they get to see that slice of Italian culture. A lot of times when you see Italian films, people think, it's the mob or it's this or that, and we did something completely opposite. We gave you a slice of life that you don't get to see. I think that's why it was a big impact with a lot of people who actually saw the film. And it turns out that I won for Best Director for that film. So it's one of those films that I'm very proud of.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely fantastic. Even the little clip that's on YouTube, whenever somebody sees it, they're completely blown away. Even Fred Carpenter, he even loves that. When I told him that you directed it, and when you came to the set of The Night Never Sleeps, I told him, well, that's Michael Arbouet. He's the guy who directed How to Grow a Fig Tree. And he always said that that's Hollywood quality. You guys did a Hollywood quality kind of film there. And it is. But it is very natural. I was just being my father. I was being myself speaking Italian, and the great thing is that what I still can't get over is that you did such a great job, and you're the only one who didn't speak Italian, and you understood what was going on. Even though you didn't understand the language, you could understand what was going on just by everything that was happening.
No, like I said, the film really spoke to me, and I really understood what Rich was trying to do with the film. And even I can't believe I forgot to mention Izzy, who's another star of the film. And
also Chris Bacinelli, which is the actual main star, Chris Bacinelli, basically.
Chris Bacinelli, who was also with you, and he did a couple of stuff in The Sopranos there. And
he was also one of the kid stars in Knock Knock with me as well.
Yes, and that film, and he did such a great job, But like I said, if anybody who wants to see a film about Italian culture, that would be the film to take a look at, and really, that was always meant to be a feature, and unfortunately ran out of money to make into a feature, so it's a short that's about 45 minutes long. But it's always been Rich's and my dream to raise the money and shoot it again as a feature, so people can experience the full film.
Yeah, and Rich sent me, I have the full script to that movie. I don't know if you have it. I'll have it saved for you if you want to, see if we'll get somebody to do it. But he did send me the full script of that movie, and it's incredible, Yeah. So maybe we might have to make that happen soon, somewhere down the line. Now, also, after that, you did another movie that I worked with you in, and we had a lot of big names in there, and Albert Ali will be happy about this. The movie called Cross the Line you directed and produced, right?
Yeah, Cross the Line, it's funny, a lot of people don't know about this, but Cross the Line was a cop story, but it was one of the first films, it fortunately didn't do as well as we thought it would do, but the entire film was made with people from MySpace, and before Facebook became big, everybody, I'm dating myself now, but everyone remembers MySpace. And the thing that was really unique about that film was that we got all the crew and the guy who wrote the music and everybody that was involved was contacted through MySpace, and there were some people that worked on the film that I never physically met. The composer of Cross the Line lived in Hawaii, and but we got to meet. I got to work with a lot of great people. Tina Krause, who is a scream queen of New York and the horror world. Of course, Sal Sirchia was also part of that, and Albert Ali, who also acted and co-directed in the film. And of course, the film would not be complete without the other scream queen that was in this film. And Sal, you've worked with her, I think, at least once or twice, right? Am I right about this?
Yes, you could say her name. I worked with her about 3 or 4 movies, actually.
And that's Debbie Rochon, and she's just a great person, fantastic. I mean, she's known for being a scream queen, but if you ever get to work with Debbie Rochon, she's a phenomenal actress, and I'm hoping to see her in other things besides horror, because you something you really have to you have to meet her and experience her in other films. But she's one of those people that reminds me of like someone who missed her calling. I mean, she does great work in the horror genre, but she's also a phenomenal actress, just doing her thing. So I was always told her I hope to see her in other things.
Yeah, she has done a lot of stuff that's not horror, that is regular acting, and she's an amazing actress. It just sometimes you get stuck in that horror genre, and people just expect you to do that all the time.
Yeah.
But all it takes is the right movie. And you know what happened nowadays? I mean, things have changed. I mean, if we were back in the 70s where the movie, there was no DVD players or VCRs or all that kind of stuff. Movies were made very low budget, and they all played in the movie theaters. Like when Joe Spinell did Maniac, that movie like $38,000 to make. It ended up making $23 million in the box office. And they played it on 42nd Street. They didn't think anybody would play it. And before you know it, by word of mouth, it exploded. And it was in every major movie theater around the world. So nowadays, you don't have that no more. So it's hard for anybody to get a real break unless you have, even the big Hollywood movies. They're going straight to DVD, and, it's just so different. Everything has changed. In the 70s, you got a movie people made for $10,000. You put it on 42nd Street. They had those movie theaters, 100 movie theaters on one block,
Right.
I was 11 years old taking the A train going to see like 3 Bruce Lee movies for like 75 cents back in like 1971 and be in the movie theater all by myself. And like my mom and dad, where the hell did he go? And here I am, 11 years old in the middle of Times Square with hookers and all kind of stuff around. And here I am in the movie theater till 1 in the morning watching like Kung Fu movies.
Yeah.
And there was no phones. It's not like my mom or dad could call me on the cell phone. Where do you go? It's just when I got home, I got home. So getting back to what I was saying, that's what made it. Now, a person like Debbie Rochon, if it was the 70s and like a movie like, let's say, she's been in so many. Any one of the Nowhere Men that she did, it's an excellent movie. Did you ever see that movie? She was phenomenal. If a movie like that would have been in the movie theater to get a chance to really get viewed the right way, it would have exploded. But unfortunately, things have changed. So even movies with big actors are going straight to DVD. Yeah, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just change. It makes it harder for an actress like Debbie Rochon to explode.
Right. Yeah, we're in a new world as far as that's concerned.
Now, also, me and you worked together a bunch of times where you directed me, but then comes The Night Never Sleeps, which I think is a phenomenal movie. And I'm not just saying that because of all the people we know may be listening, or because me and you, and the movie is great. Everybody let's see that movie all says that movie is great.
And that was a great movie to work on. That was another Fred Carpenter film.
Right, and me and you actually did acting together for the first time. We acted in that one.
Yes.
So that was me and Mike's debut as acting. So talk a little bit about that as well when you first got involved. And I didn't even know you were acting in it until I got to the set.
Yeah, no, it was funny. I came to visit the set because the mayor of rock and roll was gracious enough to invite me to the set, and I came down just to see what he was doing. And the director, Fred Carpenter, came up to me and said, "Oh, I've got a great role for you." And I was like, "Oh no, if you want me to be an extra, I'll be an extra." He goes, "No, you're gonna act in it. I'll send you the script." And I blinked, turned around 3 times, and Sal said, "See, look what I did. I got you into the film." And that film ended up being it starred Eric Roberts, Amon Asante, Dan Brennan, Russ Kamar, Bobby Clahessy, the great Sal Sirchia, Jose Hernandez Jr. If you're listening, he did a great job in that film, and that was a great cop story. And oddly enough, we just got distribution on that film, so hopefully other people will get to see it. Hopefully by the spring. But that was a great project to work on, and again, even though it was a low-budget film, it got great reviews. We got picked up on a whole bunch of film festivals. Every time I turned around, we were getting invited to go to a festival. Me and Sal walked the red carpet. I can't tell you how many celebrities Sal knows. You turn around and goes, "Oh, Sal Sirchia, I know who that is." So that was a great experience because I don't act that much, and I don't consider myself an actor per se, but a lot of people did dig the performance I did, so I was appreciative of that, and it was a great project to work on.
No, you were excellent in that scene, and we worked together really well. And I remember shooting that day. It was a lot of fun, and we did a million different angles, and it turned out great. But the movie also was written by your new partner, right?
This is Mike Lavaggio wrote that script, and he approached me a little while ago with a new script called Depot Road. I don't want to give too much away about that. We're still trying to secure funding and get that on the way. But, he approached me about directing that film. So I don't want to mention the people that we're talking to yet, but it looks like it might be a go. So hopefully, right now, I will mention that Sal Sirchia has secured a role in the film if we get the funding for that film. But that's all I'll mention right now. But, yeah, that's another great police drama set on Long Island. And if it gets made, I think people will be really surprised with the story.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That sounds great to me. I'm ready, baby. Now, also, after that, you got involved with Fred Carpenter and Michael very big time in the new movie Send No Flowers, starring Sean Young. If I remember correctly, you're also the one who contacted Sean Young on that, right?
Yep. Like I said, I'm blessed because I get to work on 1 or 2 projects a year, between Sal and I, we've met I think over 100 celebrities. So you meet people, and after a while, they're just like regular people, and you talk to them. And Sean Young, I spoke to her and gave her Fred's contact information, and she read the script and she really liked it. She liked the way the story had that twist to it, and she decided to sign on to it, which was really good. And it was a pleasure working with her. I know back in the 90s and early 2000s, she had this reputation of being a bad girl, but she's actually one of the finest actresses I've ever worked with, and she's a straight professional. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised because everyone loves a comeback, and Britney Spears did it, and I'm telling you, 2013, 14, keep an eye out for Sean Young. She's going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, that whole thing about the bad girl thing, that's kind of ridiculous because, everybody out there, Madonna would go on the David Letterman show and curse and smoke a cigar on purpose, and those kind of things just made you more and more famous. So, the whole thing with Sean Young, it didn't go that way. All of a sudden they gave her a different kind of reputation. Instead of, you see like what Miley Cyrus is doing, that's all to get more and more publicity, but it turned on Sean Young for some reason, where these other people, it's just making them, it's like trying to put out fire with gasoline with these other people. But for some reason, Sean Young got the bad part about it. I don't know why. You would figure that kind of thing would make her even bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
but unfortunately, like I said, it's a crazy world, and people do look at things differently all the time. It's controversy. The more controversy you do, the more famous you get. But some people, it backfires on them. And poor Sean Young, it backfired on her where she got that reputation as bigger. But yet Madonna or Miley Cyrus with the stuff she's been doing, which I think is ridiculous, but I know what she's doing. It's all about business. It's all about, the more crazier you are, the more famous you're going to be. It's the kind of world we live in.
Right.
So, and that, I felt bad for Sean Young, because she really didn't deserve to get pushed to the side like that. But she's making a comeback. She was phenomenal in the movie. I saw it, and I rehearsed some scenes with her. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do it because we ran out of time. But at least I was able to be in the what was that little trailer thing that was on cable, like on the news or something like that.
Well, you were on the you were the behind the scenes video.
In the behind the scenes, and also I'm in the movie very quick, but it's me, and that's what happens. I worked in the Palomar of 1, 2, 3 for 15 days with John Travolta and Nick Loren and Denzel Washington. 15 days, 16-hour days. If you watch the movie, you blink your eye and I'm gone. So that's what happens. I mean, we did so many scenes. I'm, falling all over the floors in the trains. We're running here. We're running up the stairs. Camera's right on my face. When you see the movie, it's not there. So that's it's called, what is that called? You're an editor.
Yeah, you end up on the cutting room floor.
The cutting room floor.
Yeah, that's one.
Michael Jameson, you still with us?
Yeah, I am, sir. I'm enjoying it.
What's the matter? You ran out of questions? I mean, you called in, you don't know what to ask us? Come on, brother, get with it here.
I know that Paul Vario won't forgive me if I don't mention his name on the show.
You see, good thing Michael Jameson called in, because Mike, me and you, we would have gotten in trouble, because guys like Paul Vario is like one of the main stars of all these movies, and we're forgetting him, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Let me tell you, Paul Vario surprised me. He's one of the another fine actor that I worked with, and he just really blew me away with his performance with Sean Young. He's the main confidant of Sean Young in the film Send No Flowers, and he does a great job acting opposite her. And when people see the film and they go, "Oh, this is one scene," his scene is mentioned a lot of times because he's the one who protects Sean Young. He's like the big brother that she never had in the film, and he just does a phenomenal job with that.
Yeah, he was great. He's great. He's great in everything I've seen. I mean, he's in all the Fred Carpenter movies, so I've seen most of all of them, except for maybe a few. And I worked with him also in Jesse, which is also a Fred movie. I worked with him in that one, and William Forsythe did a real cool scene with William Forsythe, that maniac. And
I actually have a question for you, Sal.
Yeah.
You've met a bunch of, we've both been blessed with working with a bunch of famous actors. Who made you starstruck when you first met them?
Who made me what?
Starstruck, like when you met them, you couldn't talk, you couldn't believe you were getting to work with such a great actor.
Believe it or not, and I don't mean to sound cocky or pat myself on the back, that has never happened to me. I have never been starstruck with anybody. It's funny. I mean, because I act with big movie stars from Hollywood that been acting when I was in diapers, and I come on the set and act with them like almost like as if I'm overpowering them. It's like it's a funny thing. It's just the way I am. I'm so I'm so. How can I say it? I'm so hyper, and I've never been starstruck ever, to tell you the truth.
That's funny. It happened to me twice. In 2000, right after 9/11, I got to do behind-the-scenes shooting for a friend of mine, and we were doing a film that my brother produced called Funny Valentine. And it was the first time I met actor Anthony Michael Hall. And anyone who knows him, he actually goes by the name Michael, but I actually got to meet him. And I grew up watching all his films, and for a good 10 minutes, I must have sounded like a raving lunatic to him, I mean, that movie, he started that movie along with Drew Barrymore, and not Drew Barrymore, but her mother. And it's a great film to work on. But there was that time, and then I actually another project that my brother produced that I got to work on was a film directed by David Mackalick that I did in 2011 called Portraits in Time. And Portraits in Dramatic Time, I should say, is the name of the project. And in one day, I got to work with Holly Hunter, Liev Schreiber, and William H. Macy. and that was a great experience. And I'm standing next to Liev Schreiber, who I've admired for a long time, and he actually came up to me and was like, "Hi, my name is Liev," and I'm like, "I know who you are," But it was a great experience meeting him and working with him, and this was a project that was done for Lincoln Arts Center, and I didn't realize it was going to be so big and have so many celebrities in it. But just to name a few of them, I got to work with William H. Macy, Holly Hunter, Liev Schreiber, Alison Pill, Lila Taylor, Patti LuPone. I mean, the list goes on and on. Alan Rickman, and they based what David did was he did this great thing with the camera. He shot in super slow motion, when it almost didn't look like we were moving, but we were moving really slow. And it was like art in motion, It was a beautiful thing. If you ever get to see it, if you pull it up on YouTube, you'll get to see some of the footage from that. But working with those people, and then what happened was not last year, but the year before, then that project was displayed in Lincoln Center on a giant screen from dusk till dawn for everybody to see. So that was just a great experience to work with. But yeah, so I mean, it never happened to the Mayor of Rock and Roll, and that's why they call him the Mayor of Rock and Roll, Sal Sirchia. But for me, I got starstruck a couple of times in my career, and I had to rebound from that. But yeah, I thought that was funny those two times.
Yeah, it's funny because I mean, I always, to me, I have this attitude in life where nobody's better than nobody. We're all just humans, and under the heavens, we're all one family. And I always have this thing of like, nobody's better than anybody. We're just human beings having a life experience, and some people, from being born till time to kick the bucket. Some people break some records. Some people make millions of dollars. But at the end of the day, we're all the same. Nobody's, nobody's better than nobody. I mean, we're all gonna kick the bucket one day too, man. So we might as well just be cool with everybody and just make the best. And that's why I'm not intimidated by anybody. I always feel like when I meet somebody who's really famous, I feel like he's just another human being just like me, and he's just, he just happened to got lucky and broke some records with what he's done in his life. But at the end of the day, all it really means is keeping the roof over your head and being a family man and being good to your wife and your kids. And all the rest is just gravy. That's how I look at it. So I think that's why I never feel that way. I don't have that feeling. I don't think anybody's better than me, and I'm not better than anybody else. So we're all just passing through, and be cool while you're passing through because it's a short stay, man,
Yeah. I know we're almost out of time. Is there anything else you wanted to ask me?
Yeah, we got 3 minutes left. We're going to go for 3 minutes. Michael Jameson, I mean, come on, brother. What else you got to say? You're always yapping all the time, and now you're freezing up on me. Ask some questions there.
Well, I want to assure your listeners that Sal is a busy man. He never had time to get a tan. And want to give out.
Well, I do get a tan in the summertime when I water the lawn,
And I thought you were starstruck when you saw me on the set, so I got to apologize.
Starstruck when I saw you on the set. That's why I had to get your number. I said, is that the actual real Michael Jameson from the movie Eddie Monroe? Can it really be him?
And Paul Vario was also in that with me, but he's a shell of his former self, as nobody can deny.
Fred Carpenter's probably listening to this and saying, these guys are really promoting me good tonight. We'd have to send them a bill or something like that.
We got to give another shout out to Fred before he goes to bed.
You're very good with the rhymes, brother. You should be a songwriter. Maybe I'll have to have you write some lyrics for me one of these days.
But I want to say that I was sincerely honored and fortunate for Michael and Fred to allow me to be in that production of Send No Flowers.
Thank you for being in it. You did a fantastic job.
And actually, Michael Jameson, you might as well let people know that actually did do some acting with Sean Young. I was right next to him, and unfortunately, it got canned and couldn't be used. But that happens with a lot of people. I mean, I know people in big Hollywood movies that made $100,000 in a scene, and the scene's not even in the movie. But you could see it on the extras on the DVD, So, I mean, it's not I'm not knocking that. It's not a big deal. But the truth is you did do a scene with Sean Young, which is cool people. How many people could say that, right, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, all right, so we got 1 minute left. I want Michael Jameson to get a little bit more in there for 1 minute. What else could you talk about?
Myself? What else can I talk about? The stock market, the racing forums?
Oh, Jesus. Now we're going to the aqueduct, huh? All right, we'll wrap it up. What the heck? We had it was a pleasure to have Michael Jameson call in. It made it broke it up a little bit, made it a little different than the rest of the shows. Thank you, Mike Jameson. And Brother Michael J. Arbouet. I love you, brother. You're the best, and I hope bigger and bigger things happen for you, not around the waist, but in your pocket.
From your lips to God's ears, Sal.
And also, Michael, to set this record straight, Brother Michael Arbouet has lost a ton of weight. He looks incredible.
Yes.
And some of the pictures I put up, you'll see that some are skinny and some are chunkier. Well, the chunkier ones are the old ones. Don't forget, set that straight. All right, so love you guys, and thank you, everybody, for listening. Hopefully we had 10,000 listeners. I'll find out right after the show with Joanne Mathis. She's the one who runs the whole show. She'll let me know how many people tuned in, and I'll be posting it and let everybody know. So thank you, Brother Mike, and thank you, Brother Mike Jameson.
Thank you, Sal, for having me on. It was a great show.
Happy New Year. That's right. Happy New Year, guys. Be safe. Cheers.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. This has been a Mathis Media Hub production.